Hello friends.
Hello friends.
Welcome to Stories with Arna. Today we are going to read The Inch Prince, retold by Russell Punter, illustrated by Matt Void, read by Vishnupriya and
Arna.
If you have a copy of this book, run along and get it. Let's read it together. Okay, let's start. Once upon a time, there was a little old man and a little old woman. Their names were Mr. and Mrs. Ping. They lived in a tiny house by the river. Oh, who lives in this river with them?
A fish.
And who is eating grass?
The hen's eating some seeds and the pig is eating some grass.
Okay. Every day, they weeded the plants in their vegetable plot. Mr. Ping said, "The beans look beautiful." They fed the animals in their field. Mrs. Ping said, "The hens look happy," and watered the flowers in their garden. "The lilies look lovely," said Mr. Ping. They had everything they wanted. Well, almost. "I wish we had some children," said Mrs. Ping one evening. "Only a teeny child could fit in our tiny house," said Mr. Ping sadly. "But small things can be special too," said his wife. "I wouldn't care if they were just 1 inch tall," she added. "Ah, that's funny. Who's there on Mr. Ping's head?"
A cat.
"And she's sleeping on the top of his head." At that moment, a fairy flew by. She heard what Mr. and Mrs. Ping said. She noticed their lovely vegetables, happy animals, and tall flowers. Wow. "These people are kind," thought the fairy. "I'll be kind to them." She waved her wand and whispered some magic words. "Jumping beans and flying fish, give these folks their dearest wish." And that was the wish she granted them. Soon afterwards, Mr. and Mrs. Ping had a teeny weeny boy. In fact, he was just 1 inch tall. Oh, look, he's really small.
Baby.
"Let's call him Isunboshi," said Mrs. Ping. "It means 1 inch boy." "Or Issy for short," said her husband. Very short, because he's so short and small. Each year, the Ping's vegetables grew bigger. Their animals grew bigger. And the flowers grew taller. But Issy stayed small. See, they have shown Issy's height chart. This is inches here and these are the centimeters. And he is 1 inch tall. First 1 year old, second 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old and 5 years old. He is the same height, 1 inch tall.
Still, even when he is 5, he's small?
Yes, maybe if I stand on tiptoe, he's thinking I'll look a little taller.
No.
Issy was tiny. He had a bottle top for a bathtub. He had a shoelace for a scarf. He had a pea for a ball. And he's saying, "Goal!" He had a button for a dinner plate. And he had a matchbox for a bed where he's sleeping. Many years later, it was time for Issy to leave home. Issy said, "I'll get a job in the city." His parents gave him 3 presents for his journey. He had a rice bowl for a boat. He had a pair of chopsticks for oars. and he had a needle for a sword. Do you know what do we use chopsticks for?
Eating food in China?
Yes. In some countries like China, Japan, Vietnam and Korea, they eat their foods with chopsticks. Issy set off down the river. Here he is coming down, 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 between tall mountains, past villages. Then he goes here, 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 through, around the wide woods and through the towns here. And then he reached the big city. I'll ask the emperor for a job, thought Issy. That's if I don't get squashed first. Oh my God, he's so small. Somebody might step on him. At last, Issy reached the emperor's palace. 2 guards were marching up and down outside. I'd like a job, said Issy. You're teeny, said one guard. What can you do? I can run past you for a start, said Issy. And he jumped over the guard's foot and ran into the palace. The guard was, hey, where did he go? And he ran so fast. A maid was washing clothes. I'd like a job, said Issy. You're weeny, said the maid. What can you do? I can run past you for a start, Issy said. And he jumped over the maid's soap and into the kitchen. Look, he jumped over the soap and ran past the maid. Hey, where did he go? She said. Let's see, where did he go next? A cook was making dinner. I'd like a job, said Issy. You're tiny, said the cook. What can you do? I can run past you for a start, Issy said. And he ran around the cook's oven and into the next room. Zoop, he ran. And the cook said, hey, where did he go? Issy was in the throne room. He bowed to the emperor and the princess. Throne room is the place where the king sits and people come and meet and greet the king. I'd like a job, please, your majesty, said Issy. Would you indeed, said the emperor. He's teeny weeny daddy, said Princess Chi-Chi. What can he do? Well, I ran past your guard, your maid, and your cook to get here, said Issy. The emperor thought for a moment. You can look after Princess Chi-Chi, he said. But daddy, mourned the princess. He's only 1 inch tall, said the princess. Small things can be special too, said the emperor. From then on, Issy never left the princess's side. He was there in the morning, right beside her when she is waking up. He was there in the afternoon when she went for a stroll and walk around. He was there at night, right by her side. One day, the princess left the palace to visit her aunt. Issy went too. They came to a dark forest. I'm scared, said Princess Chi-Chi. I'll look after you, said Issy. What can you do? Said the princess. Just then, there was a terrifying roar. Rag! A giant ogre crashed through the trees. He reached out to grab the princess. Help! Said the princess. And look, Issy is there. Let's see what Issy can do. Put her down, said Issy, or I'll... You, said the ogre. What could you do? The ogre scooped up Issy and popped him in his mouth. And he said, I love bite-sized snack. And he put Issy into his mouth. Oops, let's see. Issy thought quickly. He took his needle sword and pricked the ogre's tongue. Take that, said Issy. Ow! Said the ogre and opened his mouth, and out came Issy and his needle. And the ogre also dropped the
princess.
Correct. The ogre spat out Issy and ran off. That will teach him, said Issy. Thank you, Issy, said the princess. Look, said Issy, the ogre left his hammer behind. The princess tried to pick it up, but it was too heavy. Phew, it's heavier than it looks, she said. I wish you were bigger, Issy, she said. Then maybe you could lift it. A cloud of magical stars shot out of the hammer and swept around Issy. Ooh, something is happening.
He's gonna do anything.
Issy felt himself changing. He grew bigger and bigger and bigger. In seconds, he was as big as the princess. I'm as tall as you, said Issy. The hammer granted your wish. Wow, Issy is happy and the princess is amazed. The princess fell in love with Issy, but not because he was tall. She loved him because he was brave. And he was so brave that he saved her from the ogre, remember?
Yeah, I do remember.
They got married and lived in a house next to the palace. The house was small, but Princess Issy and Prince Chi-Chi were happy. They both knew that small things can be special too. That's the end of the story. Hope you enjoyed reading with us. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. See you next time. Bye-bye.